This is take 8 of me stuttering. Right, welcome back. This is episode 5. We've just come back from Brands Hatch. Now we're going to run through the ECU process. This one, we're going to flash about the standard and just start the whole process again. Show you stage by stage really, or what we do. So we'll get the ECU out and go from there. Okay, the ECU's out, so we'll pass this over to my fat curly haired friend and get going.
Right, we've got the standard ECU from the TTCRs. It's a Bosch MED 9.1. It's fitted to all the TTs, Mark 5 Golf, Mark 6 GTI, Golf R. It's fitted in many cars. We're going to put the control map on it using the tools we've got over here. Right, so we've got the ECU over on the bench. We're using B-Flash. That's the tool for programming the ECU. This plug is a harness that we've made up because we do a lot of these ECUs. So you can flash them on the bench. The write speed is a lot faster than if you're writing the ECU in the car. So if you're making a lot of revisions, sometimes it's quicker to have the ECU out of the car and just keep writing it on the bench. Right, so we've got the ECU all ID'd. We're going to flash the EEPROM and the flash memory. So we just flashed the ECU. It gives you a report on the time taken. So that was 19 seconds. That was for the flash, and it was about 3 seconds for the EEPROM. It depends how many sections in the ECU it's changing, because it doesn't write every one if the data is the same. If you were doing that OBD in the car, it could take up to 15 minutes. So hence this is why it's a lot faster. And there's certain sectors you can't flash in the car OBD. Right, that's ready to go back in the car. We'll get it off and run it up on the dyno. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to set the dyno up on a load simulation. That'll put some load on the rollers. It's not for power run, so we can run the car up to a certain revs, let off, make some logs, and it will just apply a set amount of load, just so we can get the information that everything's running correctly before we go and give it the full beans on the power test. So we've done some running of the car. We've got the essential items for reviewing logs. A little was in a mug with a cup of tea, laptop. We'll just run through this and have a look at all the data we've pulled off, see if we can see anything. Obviously we've been reviewing it while we was running, there was nothing dangerous. So there's a few things we just want to take a closer look at, and then we'll see if we're ready for a power run.
Alright, so my bestest friend's mapping the green TT. While he's doing that, we're going to come in here. We've got Julian's gearbox. His is going to have the quaif in. We didn't film it doing it for the green car because we just run out of time. Yeah, so we'll get a video of doing Julian's one. Okay, so we're going to take the shifter out, but we've got to fix the shifter on Julian's. It's a bit sloppy, flopping around there. Then pop the casing off, circlip behind there, ring of bolts, take them off, drive shaft cup out. The other one's already out because I did that when I took the engine out. Should be already drained of oil. Taking the ring and bolts out in there. Yeah, lift it off, check the gears over, grind off the rivets on the diff, and then yeah, in with a new one.
Right, we've been reviewing the logs and we found we've got some issues with throttle. Right, so after reviewing logs, we found we've got an issue with the throttle not fully opening and boost not reaching exactly what we're after. So we've got an issue with the airflow meter. That's this here, sits in the air filter, measures how much air is coming into the engine. So that's not sending the correct signals to the ECU at the moment. Fitted a new one, run it again, hopefully that'll correct the problem. Right, so we fitted the new airflow meter to the car, re-ran it on the dyno, under load, got a good amount of logs off it, and after reviewing them, everything's looking good now. So the main things we're looking at here is the things like fuel pressure. This is the high fuel pressure that's being requested in the ECU. You've got the request and the actual. You're looking for them to basically be as close as you can and no big dips or troughs or anything. The amount of trim of the lambda sensor, that's showing how close the fueling in the ECU is. and we're within 5% there across all areas. That's good. Your injector duty cycle, how wide open your injectors are, they're all fine. Because of the power of these cars, everything really is in quite safe tolerances, because we limited power and torque purposely so that these cars aren't under too much stress. Everyone's running the same anyway, so the power doesn't matter too much. It's more the fact that everyone makes the same under all conditions, really. Right, so now we're happy with all these logs, we're going to go for our final power run and see what power the car actually makes. Right, so we've done the power run, we've got some pretty nice figures what we're happy with. 290 foot-pounds of torque, 267 brake. Torque curve's really nice and flat, power pulls nicely up to the line. On the dyno we've got a few things that it records that we've already looked through in the logs anyway, but it's nice to just get them on the final report. So the lambda's 0.85, which is our request, all the way to the line. Ignition timing's nice and strong, up 20 degrees. We haven't got any detonation, the intake temperatures are nice and cold. Everything looks good, power's good. We've done this a few times, it's repeatable, it's making within a few brake horsepower the same numbers every time. So we're happy with that, and everything's done. We're good to sign that off.
Okay, we've got this apart, so we can just go through, check all of these that we haven't got any wear marks or splits in the synchros. So you can see like the hub's all good, the ends haven't folded over, started to burr. I mean, so I don't know if you zoom in there, you can see all look pretty good, to be fair. So we've checked over this one and this one. I mean, I've got one where you can see on, is it this one or this one? You can see on here, look, where the hubs start to wear, the teeth start to round over basically, and then they just start smashing when you're trying to go into gear. Okay, next we will take this, bolt it into the mill, can machine off all of the top of the rivets, punch them out, take the crown wheel, bolt it onto the new diff. Okay, so the diff is in the mill. We've machined off the tops of all the rivets. This is just a crude little tool I've knocked up quickly. When I get 5 minutes, I'll machine the vise so that can sit down in there properly, and it'll be a much, well, a more sturdy fixing into the bed. But yeah, they're all machined off, so we're going to press out the rivets now, clean it all up, put it onto the new diff. Okay, that's it for episode 5. The cars are all done, back together, so we're going to head out, do some testing and get ready for the race that's in a couple of weeks. That'll do, won't it?